This is the reading for the Cancer male in a coupled relationship. So I have an anchor spread that I made up. Basically, through the whole cards, we just kind of get a scenario here, feel for things. I use the Romance Tarot cards and the Sex and Love Tarot cards, and we just kind of go from there. For the male in a coupled relationship, Cancer, here we go. The first card I get for you is the Queen of Swords. So you may have a Queen of Swords in your midst. So that's like an air type personality. May not be an air sign. It may have ascendant or rising or whatever, Venus, in air, but they may be some other sign. So now in this deck, the Romance deck, this Queen is very much unhappy. Not quite at the top of her game. Now, she's been through a lot. You know, the 10 swords behind her. She's been through a lot in her life, and she really has some high standards to live by as well. But nonetheless, the overwhelming feel I get here is she's just not happy. So I feel like this is the partner that you're with is just not happy, and it may not be even personally with you. It's just she's not happy with situations going on in her own right. So it affects you in that way. So I get a high sense of that, the Cancer male is being affected by their partner. Not necessarily personally, you know, you are no good type thing, but that this female is having a rough time and it's affecting the relationship. The next card I get is the Eight of Wands from the sexual deck. Now, the Eight of Wands is really becoming a card of dreaminess within the relationship, of wanting things to be better, wanting things to be where I can feed you grapes, you know, and da-da-da. So I feel like that's what's kind of missing, that ability to pay special, close attention to each other. So I feel like that's something that, like I said, is missing, and it's kind of like I think the male is really wanting to get that back. The next card I get is the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups kind of sandwiched with the Queen of Swords. So wanting that compassionate person. I feel like it's a mix of the swords, because we want the knowledge of the swords and the compassion of the cups. So it may be a water sign with air qualities or a air sign with water qualities, but nonetheless, we have a sense of compassion here, but I feel like it's missing. Okay, because the next card I get is the Queen of Pentacles on the sex side. So we may have a water sign here, but is very much in the mode where they're not really into emotional displays of affection, right? Of diving too deep in the emotional arena. So if we have a Cancer male with the woman, she may be a compassionate person, but we're not diving too deeply into that pool to figure that out. So we're getting a little bit of it. We could be getting a cold shoulder from the partner. So, or not getting as much compassion and loving, caring, sensitive feelings in the bedroom, right? Because I'm feeling like the Queen of Pentacles kind of really, she's got this man at her feet, but he's not of an equal, right? He's not in equal. So the next card I get in the romance area is the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups can be about wishes fulfilled, but yet you look at the visual here, we have a man who's kind of sneaking up behind this woman. And the woman, even though she's wearing a mask, her face is really pouty. Again, accentuating the woman's not happy here. Something's off. Something's wrong. So we may have an imbalance here where the Cancer male is not understanding of the partner's problems. One, maybe not even knowing what they are and not caring to know because I don't want to get involved in that way. Or two, being part of it and not knowing how or what to do to change it, right? So very much a partner that is just not feeling correct in the relationship. Not like they should be in another, but within the relationship, not feeling happy. And then the next card I get for the sex side of things, Three of Pentacles. So there seems to be somewhat of a grounded sex life here. But again, not dipping too deeply into the emotional sector. We got a physical sense here. Boom, it's there. It's good. But the emotions are really at bay. I'm not dealing with that. So as I go down here along the hooks of the anchor, I get the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups, I mean, it could go either way here, but in this relationship, I feel like this male is coupled and he's loyal and he's just and all of that. He's moral. He's not going to do. But this card usually symbolizes a male going into a brothel and just getting sexual satisfaction, just getting the sex. Not, he doesn't have to give up any emotion, any compassion, any kind of sweetness whatsoever. It's not there. So this may be something that's happening within your relationship. You're getting the physical satisfaction, but we're not diving too deeply into the emotional center of each other here. And then the next card I get to accentuate that is the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles, when you look at it, is somebody's not happy. The man's in the background, the woman's not happy. She's indulging in the drink already. She's so unhappy. So we've got something here that's bothering the partner. Now we go down there, down one more rung here, and we get 13, which is the Death card. So that's sadness, grief, sorrow, loss. These are feelings that are going through. And I'm getting, it's like on both sides. Both of you are feeling this to a degree. That you may have had a loss in the family. You know, some kind of something that's creating a sense of depression, heaviness within the relationship where we really can't be light and flowy like we normally are. And I'm getting a sense as well that this Cancer male may not be one of those people that digs too deeply into the relationship, but he's digging more than he has been or he is over this February month. There's some kind of a black cloud hanging here that has really hit the both of you. I mean, I feel like the woman is a little more in disappointment and almost in a frustration, angry kind of way. And the male's kind of not knowing what to do. He's kind of spinning in circles going, okay, it'll get better. It'll get better. It'll get better. And in the meantime, just indulge me physically and it'll get better, you know? And that's kind of the thing that they know how to do. That's what makes them feel close, that physical, you know, but it may not be on both sides here. But anyway, so the 13, there's a loss, a sense of grief and sorrow that's hit the both of them. I feel like the male, obviously, but also it affects the whole relationship as a whole, right? So it's interesting. We have the female, the partner, having a situation that has upset her to the degree that it upsets him. Now we have the male, there's something here that is really upsetting him. So it's really balancing on both sides. And then next to the Death card, we have the Empress. So the Empress is really, she's about the fruitful ground. She's about the compassion and all of those things really that makes up the cups, right? Makes up the compassion, the kindness, and all of that. And along with it, she has the abundance with her, you know. There's abundant feeling here. So it kind of goes back and forth here. So I'll leave it at that. I'll go on the left side of the anchor, and we come up with the Page of Cups. Now, normally the Page of Cups brings me to a feeling of emotional immaturity, right? So we're talking about emotions not being as deep as they were. So that may be what both people, I feel like it's a balance. Both people are carrying this emotional immaturity gene. And they're really kind of meaning they're equal in that. They both really don't want to go too deeply into the emotions. But physical side, yeah, we got that down. We're good, you know. But from this Page of Cups, I get a sense of love me, hold me, you know. Both, maybe both, but I feel more from the male. It's like I need some nurturing here and I'm not getting it. Please give me it. But they're never going to ask for it. Never going to come out of their mouths. But there's a yearning to get it. And I feel like, you know what? man, you're not going to get it unless you ask for it. And you'd be surprised what you can get if you do ask for it. Even if your partner is unaware. If you're both sitting in an emotional, immature situation, you'd be amazed at how that can flip if you just show the vulnerability a little bit. And I feel like the Cancer male is not willing to show a vulnerable side, yet he is desperately feeling it. Feel it very highly, like a 9 out of 10 here. I need loving, I need compassion, and they're just not going to get it if they don't ask for it. So they kind of have to be direct in that way, but I don't know that they will naturally do that. The next card I get to accentuate that on the sex side is the Ace of Wands. Again, interesting. Now we have the Empress here. She is also can be a sign of fertility, right? And the Ace of Wands, man, that guy's arm is just kind of over that belly, and it seems like it's a little bigger than just the average belly, right? It looks like it's the beginning of a pregnancy. So for younger couples, I feel like this is something that could be in the air, you know. Could have a pregnancy in the air with this Ace of Wands, the beginning of something, right? And fire is action. So we had action, now we got fire in the belly, right? So literally something coming to fruition from that. So be aware of that energy, because that's very creative energy. Now, as we move on, we get the 9 of Coins. So the 9 of Coins is that solid, sturdy, foundational relationship. Just nothing's getting in between that. You guys in the public view, everybody knows your couple. You've been a couple. You're so grounded in each other that it's just, you know, it's background stuff. But that's also your security, right? It kind of is old and stale to everybody else, but you guys, you know each other so well that you kind of don't worry about each other to a degree that we have to look at that. But nonetheless, is that comfort feeling that you have with your partner. So knowing you know them, they know you, and then the security within that. The card I get on the sex side of things is the 5 of Wands. So it's interesting because we have the Ace of Wands here, right? And through the beginning of the reading, we kind of get a sense of coldness from both parties. Something hit them both. And it's kind of like you can't enjoy yourselves like you normally do. You can't be light. There's a heaviness that's hit, and suddenly nobody's themselves. Then we have a sense here of lightness come back into the picture, and the Ace of Wands is kind of like reviving that flame, reviving the personal side of things, sexual side of things, getting into the passion again in a gentler way. Again, we're not really digging deep down for those emotions, but we're being more sensual about the partner in the meantime, and then feeling more solid as a couple because of that. We had something hit, it created a space, and now we're slowly getting back into the sensual side of things. And then the 9, realizing, you know, this is my partner, and this is feeling that security. And then the 5 of Wands is kind of like people outside of you checking you out, going, I wish I had that. I wish I had what they had. You know, even though you've been through a rough spot, you kind of went through it. You did your dip. Now you're dipping back in and starting to get back to that emotional zone that you both sit at, right? Maybe not be all that deep, but you're both sitting there. You both were there. That's your guys' default, so it's okay. And you both know how you deal, so you deal with that equally. And again, outside of the relationship, the 5 of Wands is basically admiration from afar. People kind of going, oh yeah, that's good. They have a good life, da da da. You know, I'm not necessarily getting freaky with, you know, the personal side of things, but I think people admiring you from afar in a relationship romantically anyway. That's the sense I get. And then as I move on, I get the 11. In this deck, it's the 11, the Justice card. And they told me to take note of the blindfold here. There's a sense of balance, right? I was talking about both partners are in the same boat. They both don't want to really dip into emotions too deeply. They both understand that, both at the same level. So there's a balance there, but there's still something missing. There's still something that this Cancer male is not picking up on and he's being blind to. And I think to a certain degree, he has a sense, yeah, there's something I got to do, but doesn't know what it is. Doesn't want to find out what it is because it may seem like work to have to do it. Once I find out, then I have to get there and do that. And I don't know if I want to do that. So it's kind of like that. Like what I don't know ain't going to hurt me, you know, that kind of thing. But it might. That's the thing. You have to keep that in mind. It might. You have to evolve, right? You have to move forward. So there's something here that this Justice card is signifying that is missing. Okay. Now, on the sex side of things, we get the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles is about a karmic tie, a tie to someone. And in this card, it's broken. So there's something here that makes the other partner feel less of a partner, like they're disconnected. Okay. I don't feel like it's going to be the end of the relationship, I just feel like the person feels distant because there's something missing. But neither one of the people in the relationship are willing to talk about it. It's just something that's felt, and they feel, well, you know what, everybody's nobody's perfect. Nobody, you know, and they're not going to give the other person a chance to live up and bring that relationship up to a higher level. They just feel like that's the price you got to pay in a marriage. There's things that are missing, and we're lucky it's only one thing that we're missing, but they don't realize it could be perfect if they let the partner in on it. So they're both kind of hiding behind that. It's an evolution process. Neither one is willing to take, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just viewed as that this could be bad, but we're not opening up to really understand the other person's idea of a perfect relationship. They're not willing to go there, right? So the last romance card we get is the Three of Coins. So I feel like this, I get a sense from the Cancer male that they're trying to force things. They're trying to, and inside they've got a feeling something's off. They don't know where to go or what to do. They're feeling agitated and highly frustrated because in a sense, they know they're ill-equipped. They can't deal with it. But until they find out what it is, how do they really know, right? But that's the sense they're working from, is like, I can't, you know, but yet they don't know what the problem is. So they don't know if they can solve it or not. But the frustration is high, okay? And that's what I'm getting here from the Three of Coins. We got a high frustration and we're trying to force things, but we don't really know where to put our focus. So the last sex card I get is the Four of Cups. Now the Four of Cups, man, it can mean a lot of things. We have a couple here. Neither one is looking at the other. And that really kind of matches with a lot of things. Like I said, this couple is not emotionally deep. There's no emotional depth here. We just do enough. We're on the surface. We're good. It's almost like business buddies, but we're both agreed. And this is good for both of us, works for both of us. So this is what it is. And the Four of Cups is almost like the universe going, we got to go deeper here. And the woman, I get the sense that that cup sitting there with the bird on it, that's her cup she's looking for. She can't find it. It's so high. She can't reach it. And I feel like that knife and magnet and coin, those are his tools. And he feels ill-equipped because he don't know where they are or where to find them. And they're both hidden from them, like they're not aware. And they're like, well, I need to find my Ace of Cups. And he's like, I got to find my tools. And neither one of them are looking in the right direction. You know, they're just going, what should we do? You know, they're kind of at a loss. So I feel like because these two are balanced in the same way, there's the same sense of lost here. And I don't mean, but I mean, they're knowing that this relationship can be better, but they feel like it's going to be something that's going to be too much work or too hard or too frustrating or not, you know, not rewarding enough that it's going to pay off. They just don't know what it is. It's unknown. So how can they know that they can't fix it if they don't know what it is? That kind of thing. And I feel like that's kind of a journey that they're going to be on here past February. I think it's going to bring them into a new renewal opportunity for the relationship. I feel like there's a sense here that they need to go deeper emotionally. Neither one of them are willing to do that, but there's going to be a little bit of a trail here that leads them down the path where they're going to do that, where they're going to be able to go deeper with this relationship than they have, and it's going to be more rewarding. But they just kind of have to get over their fear of facing issues within the relationship. That's really what it is. Neither one of them wants to deal with it, but they don't know what it is. You know, and once they find out what it is, it's really not going to be as hard, and it really will bring them closer together. And that's my feeling beyond here, February here. Feel like it's really going to bring them closer together, and it's going to unveil to both of them at the same time. So we may have, right, a karmic, well, not only may, we do have a karmic relationship because the Seven of Pentacles states it. And there's a situation here where that tie has been broken, and I feel like that's the universe's opinion. The universe is going, no, we need to go deeper with this relationship. This is not deep enough. So a sense here that we have a support within the universe wanting this couple to advance, but the couple themselves, and I feel like the pair as a whole, is resistant to moving forward, but they're in fear of the future that is unknown, and really feeling it's going to be a lot more work than it actually is, but it's really more rewarding than they're giving credit for. So it's a very interesting energy read I'm getting here. Just very much that the couple, the Cancer male couple here as a whole, is very symbiotic. They're very in balance with each other, but resisting the universal flow to advance them forward and deeper into more meaningful, their fear of that, but they don't really know what that is again. So interesting energy over Valentine's, but nonetheless there's a heavy energy that sits there. And like I said, it may well have been a death in the family that affected them both very strongly, and has put kind of a bump into the closeness, right? Everybody just feeling off and not being able to be themselves fully through that time. So just having to absorb that in a different way in the relationship, that, people are not happy, but not necessarily not happy with the partner. They're just unhappy, period, within the relationship, but not because of the relationship, because of things outside of that. So these too shall pass, right? These feelings too shall pass. And again, the future's nothing to be in fear of. It'll actually bring you closer and more depth. But it'll be interesting to see the summer reading for these guys, because I feel like that will be on the other side where we start to get into the lessons or the universal hits that come at them. And hopefully that just opens things up, and the depth starts coming, and they're not in fear of it anymore once it's there. So that's my wish for for the Cancer male in a couple relationship. It seems like there's a transition here that needs to happen within your relationship, and you're both kind of reluctant to do that, but it's really a good thing, and I think it's going to happen whether you like it or not. But again, not knowing what that fear is, so it's a fear of unknown that could be better for you when you pursue. So happy Valentine's Day to the Cancer male couple. Take care, have fun, and be kind.